You're probably thinking, where do I start with running? You're looking on social media for answers, but there's so much information, you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 things that I wish I knew when I started, from a guy who was transitioning from just going to the gym to eventually being able to run half marathons and 100-mile, 24-hour ultra marathons. If you need that extra bit of help, I do have a free 5K program in my bio that will help you get that faster 5K. But why did I move away from the weight room? I purely moved away from just going to the gym and arguably getting pretty obsessed with bodybuilding, because you know what? There was so much more out there. I wanted to enjoy races, I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to become a complete student again. I thought like I knew my way around the gym. I wanted to humble myself and get going. So why not start with running? And of course, there are a million different tips you could be told when you start running, but here are my 5 that I think are the most effective in helping you transition from no running to being able to do some running. The first one is that you should not bankrupt yourself. It is so easy at the moment with social media, with TikTok, with half marathons, with influencers, with shitfluencers, to get caught up in the commodification of running. Yes, there are some very sexy shoes out there. Yes, there are £1,000 Garmin watches. Yes, you could buy the best half tight that's been infused with woven fucking llama. But is that going to benefit you if you're going to quit in a month? No. The best thing you can do when you first start out is think, right, I need to find myself a good pair of daily running shoes. And that's all you need. Really, that's all you need to start with. You can go to a running shop and you can get your gait analysed, and you can spend £150, bang, you are able to run. Far too many people, my clients for that matter, and people in All In Run Club, which is my run club, really get caught up in the fact that they think they need a running vest, they need carbon shoes, they need a Garmin, they need Strava, they need Runner, they need races, they need this, they need that. What is going on? It used to be that we just needed shoes. Now, and of course, later down the line, it does become part of the fun. But when you first start out, you want to be thinking about, right, what is the lowest barrier to entry and what is the most important thing that I need? And the most important thing that you need is a pair of shoes and your body. Number 2 is that you need to slow down. I don't care who you are, where you are. You might be in America, you might be in Europe, you might be in England. I don't care. You are running too fast. The minute you start running, you are running too fast. Is because from my own experience, I got caught up in, right, I'm running. I used to be quite competent in the gym. I used to be quite good at gym. I thought I knew fitness. I thought I knew how to do things. Bang, I'm running. I want to be fast. And what this does is it pushes your body too far, too soon. You've probably heard me talk about it on this channel, and you've probably heard everyone else on YouTube talk about it on their channel. But it is really important that you learn to completely control your ego and not expect to run too fast or too far too soon. You don't necessarily need to be thinking about heart rate zones, but you don't want to be pushing yourself to max capacity on every single run. How much you're running will be in another point, and obviously that's completely person dependent, but you need to slow down. Yes, we could say conversational, but some people are very good at having conversations at high heart rates. I would just generally say, if you've never run or you're just getting into it, there is absolutely no way you should be running faster than 6 minutes per kilometre for 99% of your runs. Absolutely no way. Of course, you might be an anomaly. You might have run in school and you've not changed since, and now you're in your 30s and you feel fucking great. Chances are, not many people are like that. Chances are, from that period of school and being 30, a lot of fucking stuff has happened. Now you're tired, you've got kids, you've got a job, you've got a boss that hates you and wants to ruin your life. You need to be realistic with what you can run at. And if you run too fast too soon, you will get yourself injured in your first month, or in your second month, or even in your third month. And I guarantee you will have not have built the love for running yet that will mean that you'll want to overcome that injury. And this is one of the main reasons I see people stopping running, and even for the gym for that matter, any discipline, is because they go full 100% into it straight away. They expect their body to just be this magical thing, just like they were in their early 20s, where you could literally do anything and the next day you could probably do it again. Newsflash, if you're in your 30s or your late 20s, things are going to start to feel a little bit creaky. You might hurt a little bit. You're not going to recover as well. You need to be realistic with it. Slow down, save your body, save your legs, and I guarantee if you did a year of slow running, that second year would be absolutely insane. And the main thing that's stopping you running slow is your ego, so stop being a gimp. Next up, we have community. So many people whatever fitness endeavor you are trying to do, they go into fitness and they try and do it alone. And of course, it's great. Winter Arc, if you're a solo character and you absolutely love that, brilliant. But what you actually need, and you probably don't even know you need it, is a community of people who are one of the same ability, or if you're not the same ability, have the same mindset and the same thought processes as you. Coming from someone who has built a 700-person run club, I have seen this firsthand. People enter a run club wanting to run, they make friends, they make people they can run with in the dark when normally they would run on a treadmill. They're going for meals, nights out with friends that they've met, all because of running. And of course, this does help you with your running, but if you create a community around the thing that you're trying to do, so get better at running, you will find yourself probably doing more of it. Because on that Saturday morning where you've had a really long week at work and you don't want to get up for that longer run that eventually comes into your program, your friends, your community, those around you are going to go, are we still on for Saturday? And suddenly, it's not just you self-motivating. You're like, you know what? I can't let this person down. I can't let the community down. I need to do that for them and for myself. And you will be so surprised at the power in this. We've had 40 people go to Barcelona half marathon. We've got 50 of us going to Rome. Lots of those people would have never thought about doing a marathon or a half marathon 6 months ago. But now we can see that because they've started to shift their identity, they can find themselves with other people on the same journey. It makes it stronger, more powerful, and means more to them as a whole. So get yourself a running group. Doesn't have to be one of these big cool ones. It can be a very chilled one, a couch to 5K group. There will be, I guarantee, I pretty much bet you £100. If this isn't true, you can comment and I might send you £100, depends on how many people watch the video. But I bet in your local area, there will be a personal trainer, someone will be running a free couch to 5K group. If not, you're in fucking Scotland in the middle of nowhere. But you get my gist. You will be able to find people in your local area who will get involved with you. For Christ's sake, just ask one of your friends, do you want to come for a walk run with me? If yes, brilliant. If no, ask someone else. If you've got no friends, it probably says more about you than it does about anyone else. Number 4 very much relates to number 2 about slowing down, but you need to be very honest with your progression. Remember, lifting weights in the gym, having done stuff before, means nada now. It doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. Running owes you absolutely diddly nada, nothing. Don't expect to be progressing your volume up to half marathons within the first 6 months. Of course, you might be an anomaly. You might get away with it. And that might mean, therefore, you can tell everyone that you're amazing and you're great and you can put yourself on this pedestal. But the normal person, myself included, when you first start out, you're probably going to be walking and running within your runs. It's not going to be a full run. That's why Couch to 5K is a great option. You're going to gradually build yourself up to running a full continuous 5K. And of course, all of this is premised on your starting point. Your starting point is very important. If you feel like you can do a 5K at the start, cool. You'll be able to progress yourself further, but you need to be very honest with that progression. And honest progression means the same principles that apply to elite runners, that you probably should manage your recovery as well as progressing with your running and your training. You can't necessarily progress your running volume exponentially because you will just get injured, just like a professional runner. For example, it's taken them years to be able to get up to running 100 miles per week as a full-time job. You've got a life, family, job, boss who hates you, like I said. Probably got a dog downstairs shitting on the floor. You can't expect to be progressing like them. We must be very honest with our limitations, not because they put a cap on what we can achieve. They just help us understand what is realistic, because if you set yourself unrealistic goals, you're not going to be able to achieve them and then you will stop. Make sure your progression is honest. Best way to monitor how you're actually progressing is probably the last point, which is entering races. Entering races is one of the best things I did for my running development. Not because I thought I was going to be a pro, not because I thought I was going to beat everyone in my cordon. Matter of fact, in most of my races, I got absolutely humbled and I hate 90% of it. However, that's besides the point. You want to give yourself points to work towards. Otherwise, it's very hard to just self-motivate yourself to go, you know what, I'm going to go out and run 10 miles. Of course, I'd probably be able to do it. It is ultimately my job. I'm a fitness trainer. That's what I do. But if you're working 9 till, I don't know, hours have changed nowadays, 8 till 6 in an office with a 30-minute break in the middle of the day, and you've got to go and run 20k in the evening, you're probably going to struggle to get that intrinsic motivation. Big goals like international races, local races, park runs, charity events, all give you a focal point. They hold you accountable on days where you can't be asked. They give you that oomph when you really want to just sit on the sofa. And again, this is something I've seen with my run club. We go to international events. You can see some of the medals behind me. Rome, Barcelona, Porto, were all international events. Madrid. Would I have trained as hard knowing that I didn't have a day that I needed to be my best for? Probably not. Probably not. It's really hard to push yourself to those limits without those days, because in those races as well, you find that extra edge relative to you. You're not going to be up there with Kipchoge. You're not going to be running world records unless you're an anomaly. However, what you will be able to do is break records for yourself. And this is part of the learning process in running. Not just because you're going to have a great time at these races. You're going to see different parts of the world. You're going to meet people. You're going to facilitate a building of that community that we spoke about earlier. But you're going to be able to have good days and also bad days. And this is important. Not every race is going to be revolutionary. Not every race is going to be a PB. Not every race is going to be the best race of your life. But what it teaches you is that you can keep showing up. Sometimes things don't owe you anything. For example, when I ran Madrid, I think that was my first international race, I struggled. I did not have a nice time. And what that helps me realize is, yes, you might put all of the work in, but some days it's just not your days, and that is completely okay. And it helped me be a little bit more respectful of the thing that I was doing. I thought I could just go and run a half marathon in sub 140 as my first race, having never ran before. Probably not a wise decision. What happened? Humbled me, which was great. It reset my ego, and I was able to then learn from it. Each race is a learning point. It's an event. It's a thing. It's great. You can have beers afterwards. What else could you want? And here's a little bonus one. Don't copy what you see on social media. Yes, social media is great. It's probably introduced you to running. It's probably thought, yes, I want those sexy shoes. But don't compare yourself. You're going to compare yourself to people running ultra marathons across countries, non-stop, triple distilled, triple threat, upside down, New Zealand at the same time as America. Like, it's just not feasible. So yes, take on board what they say, learn from them, but do not compare if you're just starting out. Thank you for watching, and just apply those tips into your day-to-day running. And if you need that extra bit of help, I do have a free 5K program in my bio that will help you get that faster 5K. And of course, if you like the video, like it, subscribe, blah, 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 blah.